Hey everybody, welcome to Pop Culture Philosophers. I am Rockin Robbie Billups, and it is time for the weekly comic book review. That's right, everyone. Weekly comic book review is the show where I read a lot of comics, and I'll let you know what I thought about them, and I do mean a lot of comics. It was a very, very big week this week, and as always, we start with the pick of the week, and this week's pick of the week is Royal City number 4. I am totally down with Jeff Lemire stepping away from Old Man Logan, Moon Knight, even Thanos, as long as we get more work like this from him. Royal City number 4 was amazing. First of all, Jeff Lemire's been doing incredible work over at Marvel, been doing some really good stuff. He's got one of my favorite comic books right now, Descender, over at Image, and now we got Royal City. 4 issues in, a much more personal, tragic, reflective type story. This story is so good and very personal. Now, I don't know Jeff Lemire, and I don't really know much about his actual life and his actual story, but this feels very, very personal. And this book is amazing. Jeff Lemire does the artwork himself. He's got this amazing style with beautiful watercolors, really great layouts. It's so good. This book is amazing. If you have not been reading Royal City, it is so good. And when you first start reading it, and issues 1 and 2, there's like a little bit of a mystery, and you're like, is this a ghost story? No, I don't think this is a ghost story, but it's deep, it's psychological, it's relevant. This stuff is really, really good. It's starting to come to get to a little bit clearer what exactly this story is going to be about. And this issue was the best one yet. It hit so many chords inside, at least inside of me as a reader. I really felt this story. And comics are a form of media. They should make you feel. It should be more than just fun. It should be more than just entertainment, cheap entertainment, fun, slam, bang, explosion, fights, and stuff like that. They also at times need to really get into your heart, into your soul, and Royal City is one of those books, at least for me. I highly recommend this book. Definitely check out Royal City if you haven't already. So now let's talk about some other comics. Let's start with Marvel, because they got a couple of new releases this week, including Peter Parker, The Spectacular Spider-Man number 1. Now, way back in the day, way back in the day, there was more than just one Spider-Man title, more than just Amazing Spider-Man. At one point, there was like 5, 6 of these things going on near monthly, and Spectacular Spider-Man was the second Spider-Man title that launched after Amazing Spider-Man, and it ran for a very, very long time. So it's cool that it's back. If Marvel's promising more legacy and more of a throwback to the old school, having a Spectacular Spider-Man book is exactly what they need to do. And this book was super fun. It's written by Chip Zdarsky, who I never really liked that much. In fact, I read Archie Comics stuff, and he did a run on Jughead that I just didn't like. I don't know, something about Zdarsky, it never clicked on me until his recent Star-Lord book. I really liked that one. I thought he handled Spider-Man really, really well. It's funny, it's light. Amazing Spider-Man's where all the big, serious, life-changing type stuff is happening. This seems to be more of the low-key, social, fun, jokey Spider-Man book. And so there's lots of cool stuff in here, including an appearance from Jonathan Storm. It's also got artwork by Adam Kubert. Now, Adam Kubert is awesome. I love the Kubert brothers, and I love their father, rest his soul. Andy's been over at DC. What has Adam been up to? Well, he's doing this Spider-Man book, and it's actually pretty cool. He is not the person that I would immediately think of as the perfect artist for a Spider-Man book, but it actually works really, really well, enhanced by Jordi Belaire's colors. So anyway, Spectacular Spider-Man, it's worth it. Give it a shot. It's actually really, really good. It's fun. It's light. It's exactly what a Spider-Man comic should be. So it's got my seal of approval, absolutely. Also this week, WMD number 1. Weapons of Mutant Destruction. Now, this is an alpha one-shot issue thing that kind of kicks off fully the big crossover that's about to be happening between Weapon X and Totally Awesome Hulk. It's already been happening. The preludes have been in the last couple issues. Weapon X is just a mindless, fun, action, X-Men-oriented comic book. That's exactly what it is, and this is exactly the same. Totally Awesome Hulk has always annoyed me as a character until just recently, because of books like Champions and even his appearance in this Weapon X story, Weapons of Mutant Destruction. It's ridiculous. So Weapon X is now led by William Stryker, like in the movies, right? Weapon X is trying to form a genetic hybrid from all these Weapon X type people like Sabretooth and Wolverine and Lady Deathstrike and whatnot, and the Hulk. So a Hulk Wolverine is coming. You don't see anything super major in here. It seems like, judging from the covers, that it's going to build up and we're going to see it's going to be a big thing. But this issue was actually really fun. It was cool. It had this nice little opening. I thought it was kind of cute and fun. And I just like this book. It's mindless and it's fun. So that's why I like it. But is it worth your time? If you're just looking for mindless action, what I said at the beginning, that not all, comics aren't always just supposed to be entertaining and fun. Sometimes they gotta hit you in the heartstrings, right? Yeah, but sometimes they just have to be fun, meaningless action explosion. And that's what this one is. So rock on. We can scratch both of our needs, the emotional need and the exhilarating, just wanting to see some awesome explosions and fights. We can scratch both of those this week, so that's super cool. Also from Marvel, we have The Mighty Thor number 20. They reveal the identity of the all-new Ultimate Thor in this, and me and my buddies at work, we did this big betting pool. We were like, we all thought we had some really clever ideas on who the new Ultimate Thor could be, and we were all totally wrong. And I'm not going to spoil anything, but if you notice the cover, the actual cover is a lot different than the cover they showed everybody, and there's a reason for that. As soon as I saw this cover, I knew what was up. The issue is all right. It does tell you who this new Thor is and how this person winds up becoming the new Thor. But what's really cool about this issue is there's a tiny little segment in there, Jane Foster talking to the Odinson. Odinson now knows that Jane is Thor. He confronts her about it, and it's a really cool, dramatic scene with Dodderman doing the artwork. He does not do the artwork in all of this, but he does that scene. That scene was beautifully written, beautifully drawn, perfectly executed. It was amazing. Mighty Thor's been super fun. Is the all-new Ultimate Thor going to be all right? We shall see. He's basically going to be the War Thor. So if you're a Doctor Who fan, think of the War Doctor. That's exactly kind of what's going on here. So all-new Ultimate Thor in Mighty Thor number 20. Also, Luke Cage number 2 came out this week. I was a huge fan of David F. Walker on Heroes for Hire, or Power Man and Iron Fist. Loved that book. It went away. Now he's on Luke Cage. I thought issue 1 was all right. It was good. It didn't really grab me too much, but I'm glad I read issue 2 because issue 2 was a lot better. Thought it was really, really cool. I want to talk about Nelson Blake, right? Yeah, Nelson Blake II, his artwork is crisp, it's clean, and it's perfect for this book. The way that he draws Cage, for instance, is great. And he wears a tiny shirt in here and it's super funny, but the artwork is clean and crisp and it does its job very efficiently. The script is really, really good, and Luke Cage's dialogue, Walker can write Cage's dialogue like nobody else. It is so perfect. It had me laughing. This is fun. It's cool. It's awesome. Luke Cage number 2. There we go. Invincible Iron Man number 8. I'm really responding very well to the character of Riri Williams. This book's gotten a little stale from me. This issue kind of got a little bit better again. Taking away all the stuff about Mary Jane and Pepper Potts and Tony's real biological mother and all that stuff, and just have a nice, fun kind of Riri story. I'm liking it, and I think it's cool. It's a fun issue, but overall the series does feel almost a little directionless. Just a little bit, just maybe because there's a lot of directionless stuff kind of happening at Marvel. I don't know, but it's a good, solid, fun book. Bendis is writing this character perfectly, and overall I enjoyed this issue, but it's not going to change your life or anything like that. XMen Gold number 6 wraps up the second story. I'm not really liking this book, but this was the best one yet. It was the best one yet, and actually focuses a lot on Rachel Summers on Prestige. It's her new name. And it tells you a little bit about why she changed her code name, why she changed her costume, some of the issues she's been dealing with. And that's cool. And is it R.B. Silva? Yeah, R.B. Silva, his artwork actually gets a lot better in this issue. It's almost like a Stuart Eminem a little bit. Not as good, not as rich as his pencils can be, but the artwork was actually all right. The story wrapped up in a decent way. Some really dumb stuff in here with Gambit, and I'm trying really hard to be a Gambit fan, but it's all right. X-Men Gold's not my favorite X-Men book at all. I actually prefer Weapon X, and especially X-Men Blue, and even Generation X, but X-Men Gold has the characters that you know and love, the characters that you want to see. And so it's cool for that, and it is getting a smidgen better, but overall it's just not doing it for me, guys. Absolutely just not doing it for me. Iceman, Iron Man, Iron Man. Iceman number 2 comes out this week. I didn't really like issue number 1 that much. I just don't feel like Iceman is a character that can work out his own solo book. I guess there's no bad characters. There's no bad ideas for characters to have a solo book. It's just if they do it right. This is I didn't like it. It's gonna be the last issue I read. It is cool because it is the first time since Bobby Drake has come out of the closet that he's talking to Kitty Pryde, Shadowcat, because they actually used to date. It's a cool little dramatic scene about that, but overall I thought it was just kind of silly and trite and it's just generic, you know, and there's nothing wrong with generic comics, I guess, because, you know, tons of them are, but this one, there's not enough of a love for Iceman as a character for me to continue reading this book when it's just run of the mill. So I just can't really get into it because of that. Secret Empire Underground, it's a one-shot. This is really confusing me with the Secret Empire one-shots and whatnot. So in the story, we know that there's a cosmic cube that's been shattered and there's shards all over the place, and the good guys are trying to like gather them up, and then Steve and the rest of the Hydra, they're trying to gather them all up. And some of the stories jumping from these one-shots that should seem like they're unrelated, but this actually, if the last issue of Secret Empire was a whole story about the Avengers and Cap and them trying to find a shard, this is the same thing. So why is this not part of the actual book? And why was the last issue of Secret Empire not just a one-shot fill-in? I don't really know. This was kind of a dumb story. It's got Savage Land in it, so that's cool if you're a Sauron fan. Sauron fans rejoice, he's in here. Overall, though, it's all right. It's a story where they go into the Savage Land to try to get a piece of the Cosmic Cube, and it's all right. If you're following Secret Empire and you want to get all the relevant pieces, this is actually a relevant piece. And that's what's so confusing to me, is that some of these one-shots seem just worthless, and other ones go, well, that actually sets something up that might be important to Secret Empire. Secret Empire itself feels kind of like it's just a bunch of fill-in issues for the last couple issues. Like, Secret Empire's losing me. It's really losing me. I really like what Nick Spencer's been doing with the Captain America books over the last couple years, but Secret Empire has just kind of turned into a dud for me. We shall see what happens, but it seems like Marvel's already past it and trying to go on forward with what's coming on afterwards. That is a problem we've had with Marvel for the last several years, even decade or more. They're always focused on the next upcoming event before they actually adequately tell the story that they're trying to tell. But I don't know. Secret Empire is losing me, including this Captain America, Steve Rogers, number 18. Worthless, terrible artwork, a terrible story, though there is a really awesome Black Panther moment in here. So definitely, if you're going to skip on this because it's not that good, pick it up when you're at the shop and read the page with Black Panther, because that's awesome. So I'm just going to say that. But Secret Empire's not really doing it that much for me. Let me know down below, guys. Are you liking Secret Empire, guys? Are you liking it? And why? Or are you not liking it? And why? Star Wars Darth Vader number 2. It's like Darth Vader year 1, and this issue was actually pretty cool. I thought it was a little bit better than the previous number 1. This one was actually really cool, and one of the reasons why it was really cool is because, think about this, none of the other guys, like the clone troopers or whatnot, they don't know who Darth Vader is. So that's kind of fun, seeing the first experiences that people have with Darth Vader, with this character who's going to become such a legend in the Star Wars worlds. But here, nobody knows who he is yet. It's awesome. There's a badass Darth Vader scene. The overall story is he's trying to get his lightsaber. So that's basically what the first story arc is going to be. But Charles Soule's doing an all right job. 2 issues in, we can't tell if it's going to live up to the Gillen run, which was amazing. That last Darth Vader run was really, really good. But 2 issues in on this, and it's pretty solid. It's pretty good. It's nothing deep. Hasn't really gotten into the character or anything like that yet. But it does have some cool Vader moments, and that's actually kind of not hard to do, right? Because he just kind of goes, and people die, and you're like, oh, that's cool, right? So that's what happened. Let's move to DC. Aquaman number 25. So, on this video, and I don't know if any of the editors or people that work at DC watch this, but if they do, thank you guys. I hope you enjoy it, and I hope you get some stuff out of it. But I've been saying that Aquaman would be a lot better if it was once a month and had a different artist. Because Dan Abnett is a capable writer. I just felt like maybe doing twice, like 2 issues a month, was stretching it a little bit much. So that's what they're doing. They're going to a monthly schedule with the new artist. They got Stephen Sejic, who you might know from Witchblade and other books like that. but it works so well. He does the colors too, so he's got this cool like painted style, painted type style. In all of the DC books pretty much this week, there is a preview in here, so if you don't want to spend the $3.99 because it's 25, all the DC Rebirth 25 issues are about 8 pages longer, so they're $1 more because of it. But they also have that Aquaman preview. It's really, really cool, guys. The art, Sedgwick has a really good artistic vision for Atlantis and for the world that Aquaman inhabits. This story is actually really, really fun. It does pick up directly from where it left off, but it's a few weeks later. This is a good jumping on point if you want to get into it. And Aquaman now has a beard and long hair, and he's always cool when he has a beard and long hair. Of course, Jason Momoa has a long hair, and I think he has a beard in the movie, yeah, so of course that's why they're doing that. But it's worked so far. This has been the best issue of Aquaman in Rebirth yet. So I highly recommend that you check it out, especially if you're a Sedgwick fan. I think that's how you say his name. It's really difficult to pronounce. Pretty sure I got it. Anyway, Abnett, Sedgwick, this promises to be a great run on Aquaman. It's very engaging and very cool. Highly recommend you check it out. Batman number 25, another, 8 pages more, and seriously 4 of them are just these 2 obnoxious double-page spreads of the Riddler standing on one side of the room and then the Joker standing on the other side of the room. So that's a little cheap. But it's the beginning of the War of Jokes and Riddles. So in the last issue, Batman proposed to Catwoman because that makes sense in the story to Tom King for some reason. You know the story, guys. Haven't really been impressed with this book that much, so I was really looking forward to this because it's telling a story from the past about a gang war that has erupted between the Joker and the Riddler. And so Batman's telling Catwoman this story because before she answers him about whether or not she wants to be his lawfully wedded wife, he has to tell her these terrible things that he did during this gang war. And I didn't like this very much. Michael Janin does the artwork. The artwork is amazing. His Joker's really cool. Riddler's cool sometimes, but I don't like this new 50, ever since the new 52, I don't like this weird sideburns Riddler for some reason. I don't know, it doesn't really work for me. I don't think Riddler's that BA to actually, I don't know. Whatever. Tom King's Batman's not really my favorite thing, and it doesn't do anything for me. It seems like this is like someone's first ideas of what they would do if they wrote a Batman comic. And when you're all thinking about this stuff when you're kids. I don't know. I'm not trying to hate on Tom King. I think Tom King is a wonderful writer. I love the vision, right? And other works that I've read of his have been really, really solid, and I'm super pumped for Mr. Miracle, but his Batman stuff just does not do it for me whatsoever. And this one was just another flat issue that didn't really do anything for me except for have some really nifty artwork at times. But we shall see, because it's a Batman book, and for some reason I can't seem to let go of it. But that's at least what I think, guys. Superman number 25 concludes the Black Dawn story, and I can say it now because he's on the cover. Manchester Black is back, and that is super, super cool. I love Manchester Black. Superman 775. What's so funny about Truth, Justice, and the American Way? Joe Kelly wrote that issue, introduced Manchester Black and the Elite. They did an animated film based on that, so you may remember that. But Manchester Black is a really cool character, kind of a John Constantine-ish character, and he thinks Superman's weak, and he knows that something crazy is coming, because this is DC Rebirth, and something crazy is coming. We know it's the Watchmen and Dr. Manhattan and all that stuff, right? So Manchester Black says, Superman, you're too weak for this, you're not good enough, and that was basically what the gist of Action 775 was. So I'm going to take your son, and your son will be the Superman that we need to. He will be ready, and this story has been really fun. This is the conclusion. It's a giant thing, like I said, 25, $3.99, 8 extra pages, huge artwork, really satisfying conclusion to the story. Cannot wait for more of this Superman stuff. Superman has been so good, guys. It's been so amazing, and they just announced in September they're revealing who Mr. Oz is in a story called The Oz Effect. They're going to have lenticular covers, so that's super, super cool. Speaking of super cool, Super Sons is here. Super Sons number 5, a nice little one-and-done story, which is rare in comic books today. It was fun. It's great. It sets up the further adventures of Superboy and Robin. This book has been great, and Damian Wayne and Jonathan Kent, their budding friendship is a treat to watch unfold in these comics, especially when written by Peter Tomasi, who is just amazing at these characters. He's doing a great job on Superman. Peter Tomasi wrote that Superman issue, for instance, with Patrick Gleason. he knows these characters so well. He's got Damien's voice so perfectly well. And Jonathan Kent is just, I can't say enough about Peter Tomasi. This book is super fun. It's action-oriented. It's funny. It's just a treat. It's just adorable, these two. It's great. Green Lanterns number 25, another one of them extra-sized issues. The return of the First Lantern. So if you've been reading this book, First Lantern's back, and he's been kind of hiding in one of the Guardians, and all this crazy stuff's been going on with this book, kind of like under everybody's radar, because this book has stood out because of the characters of Simon Baz and Jessica Cruz. This book has become a really, really nifty exploration on anxiety and fear and what it means to have willpower and to be a Green Lantern. And then all of a sudden in issue 25, this issue stands up there with like some of the best Jeff Johns stuff, like when we first started seeing the Sinestro Corps and when we first started getting all of our hints for Blackest Night. This feels that big. It feels awesome. This is the best issue of this book yet. Amazing artwork. It's Robson, right? Yeah, Robson Rocha does this. He's done some of this before, but now we got colors by Danielle Enriquez. No, that's Enriquez is the inks. Who does the colors? The colors are Alex Salazzo. The colors in this are amazing. It makes the pencils and the inks just pop so much. It gives it so much life. This is really cool. Green Lantern fans, if you feel like the books haven't been good since Jeff Johns has left, give Green Lanterns a chance. Seriously, it starts off weak. It's gotten stronger and stronger and stronger. Best issue yet, absolutely. So DC's doing those Looney Tunes superhero crossover things. Lobo, Roadrunner, it's silly, it's fun. It's exactly what you would think. Kelly Jones doing the artwork, though, on the main story is a treat. Kelly Jones did Batman way back in the day. The stuff is fantastic. So it's all right. I know you guys are going to really dig on this, especially you Lobo fans. It makes a lot of sense to me. It's just a little weird how far out of their way they go to make the crossovers work. Like the reasoning, it's just, I don't want to get too into it, but in each of these crossovers so far, except for I like the Martian Manhunter Marvin the Martian one because it just happens. There's a reason. Anyway, they go out of their way to make these really crazy reasons as to why these crossovers are happening. But this one was all right. The backup story I thought was pretty cute and funny. Wonder Woman Tasmanian Devil, was not that impressed with this one. I was really actually looking forward to this one. I didn't really like it that much. I thought it was kind of silly. And I mean, they're all silly. They're all going to be silly, right? Especially the Elmer Fudd Batman one coming up by Tom King. I'm actually looking forward to that one. But this one was all right. I think the way they draw the Tasmanian Devil kind of threw me off. I don't know. That's what I'm going to say about that. Cave Carson has a cybernetic eye, number 9. I am a little lost in this story. I vaguely remember where we're at and where we're going, but I started reading this and I'm like, oh my goodness, I just feel like I'm lost again. And then it had this awesome moment with Wild Dog, and I don't want to spoil anything. I'll talk about it in the pop culture wrap-up this weekend. But seriously, one of the greatest moments in a comic book this week, if not this year so far, took place in the pages of Cave Carson number 9. It involved Wild Dog. If you read this book, you will know exactly what I'm talking about. Was that not the craziest thing? Oh my goodness. Wildstorm number 5 from Warren Ellis is here. I love this grounded, realistic, awesome, slow-paced version of the Wildstorm universe that Warren Ellis has been, that Wild Warren Ellis has been doing. It's been fantastic. The mystery deepens, more stuff becomes clear. You learn a lot about the origin of Void, for instance, and what exactly is going on. Plus, you see a Demonite. Got Zellin in here. No Jenny Sparks again, but this book is great. If you liked Wildstorm back in the day, this is an updated, grounded, more realistic version of that story. If you've never read Wildstorm, it doesn't matter. You can just start reading this book. It is amazing. Definitely worth your time. And it's got an ending, if you really think about it, whoa, it's going to be kind of cool. Kind of cool, guys. Deathblow. Let's talk about Image Comics and some other independent type publishers. Shirtless Bear-Fighter number 1. A lot of people are looking forward to this. I read it. It is so dumb. It is so dumb and ridiculous that it's almost awesome. Like, seriously, I don't know how I feel about this book. It wasn't bad. It is exactly what it means to be, which is just silly and dumb. It's exactly what it is. Silly, dumb, and it's supposed to make you laugh. And if you like silly, crazy, what the type stuff, you definitely might want to check that out. It's an interesting story. It's interesting. I read this and I was like, this was dumb. And then I'm like, but it's meant to be dumb. It was exactly what it wanted to be. So it did its job well, right? Definitely not gonna be for everybody, but it was interesting, I'll say that. So Dynamite's doing these Atari books, right? Swordquest number 0 came out. It was awesome. I really liked it. Number 1 is out this week. So the basic gist is this dude finds out that he's dying. He's got about 6 months to live. He was a huge Atari nerd when he was a kid in the 80s, and he loved the game Swordquest, but they never finished it, right? And Swordquest had all these prizes. They were going to give away the sword at the end. But he finds out that the sword is real, and it exists in a museum. So since he finds out he's dying, well, I might as well spend my last 6 months and go and steal this sword and go on a true sword quest. And then issue 1, that's all the setup from issue 0. It gets into the story here. Some really good personal moments, great artwork, really good, solid stuff. Not what you would think this book would be. And then you get to the ending and you're like, whoa, this is a legit sword quest. Or is it? Definitely pick up Swordquest, guys, especially if you're an old school Atari fan. Atari 2600, oh my goodness, that was my first game system. I love that. Missile Command was my thing. Missile Command was my thing. What was your favorite 2600 game? What was your favorite Atari game? I love Pitfall too, right? Who didn't? Ninjak Shadow Man Rapture number 2. So Nelson, I gave issue 1 a chance and I really, really liked it. And issue 2, I really liked it as well. So I'm going to continue reading it. And I do have Divinity Volume 1, just so you know. I'm going to get to that eventually. But I'm pleased with this. It's got great artwork. It's got good, solid writing, great ideas, cool concepts, and a nifty way of telling the story, especially the way the villain speaks. Super cool. So I'm definitely going to be giving Valiant more of a chance in the future. Absolutely. God Country number 6 comes out this week. I was totally misled and misinformed by this book. I thought this was an ongoing from Image. No, this is the final issue. This is the final issue, and I hate that it's the final issue because this book has been so good, written by Donnie Cates with artwork by Jeff Shaw. This book has been amazing. Overnight made Cates a superstar. We got Redneck also at Image Comics right now. Baby Teeth over at Aftershock. God Country was amazing. This is a perfect finale, a great ending to cap it all off. I wish there was more, but I'm glad he told a story and was done with it. So God Country was amazing. If you haven't read it, go get all the issues if you can find them. They've done like 5 printings of issue 1. And of course the trade will be out soon. Definitely got to check that out. I'm pretty sure this is the last issue. I mean, there's even like thank you guys for reading this book. It was awesome doing it. So I think it's over, but it could come back. Or could it? Kind of can't. I don't want to spoil anything. Or will I? No, seriously, God Country is a great book. Also from Image, we got Black Monday Murders number 6. I need to go back and reread and get caught back up and get back into the gist and the tone and the feel of it because the Hickman stuff doesn't come out as often as it does, and his tone and mood that he sets is so important to his comics, especially Black Monday Murders. It really doesn't benefit when it's so long between issues. But this was still a good issue with great artwork by Coker, right? Yeah. Tom Coker. Tom Coker doing great artwork, dark, creepy, really good stuff about the evils of our financial system and like the literal evils of our financial system. It's great. Black Monday Murders is cool. It's complex. It's really highly well researched, and that's kind of spooky because how much of this is true? I don't know, but there you go. So we have some great books this week, guys. Seriously, Valiant stuff is really good. Do check out Swordquest number 1. Shirtless Bear-Fighter is going to be perfect for some of you guys and not good at all for some of you guys. Cave Carson has the best moment in a comic book in 2017 so far, and that includes the first chapter of The Button. Absolutely. Best issues yet for Rebirth, Green Lanterns, and Aquaman. Batman disappoints me yet again. Vader is solid. Secret Empire is losing me. For sure. Luke Cage got me. Mighty Thor, that's funny what you guys did with the cover. You messed us all up. You messed us all up. Spider-Man's actually worth it, but seriously, check out Royal City if you haven't already. This book is good. This is exactly what comic books could and should and would be if we all read more of them. What? Anyway, thank you guys for watching the video. Let me know down below in the comments, what did you read this week? What did you think about it? Love talking to you guys about comics in the comments down below. Anyway, please do like, share, and subscribe. I do this every single week. We also have movie reviews, pop culture wrap-ups, All that stuff and more can be found at our website, popculturephilosophers.com, where you will also find our podcast. Got a Spider-Man podcast coming out very, very soon. Tarantino is out right now. Definitely got to check that out. Thank you guys so much for watching. Thanks for rocking with us. Keep on reading.